Hello, everyone. On behalf of South Asian Regional Consortium Center for Combating Tobacco, SAC-CCT, in collaboration with the Union Southeast Asia Regional Office, I, Garima, SAC-CCT Fellow for 2021 from India, and my co-host, Mr. Sonam Tashi from Bhutan, welcome all dignitaries, distinguished speakers, and delegates to the South Asian Colloquium on FCTC Article 5.3 titled How Immune Are We Against the Tobacco Industry Interference? Our partners for the event are the Union, WHO FCTC Knowledge Hub for Article 5.3, WHO Country Office for Sri Lanka, National Authority on Tobacco and Alcohol, Sri Lanka Medical Association, Alcohol and Tobacco Information Center, Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo. In addition, Young Professionals Alliance for Health will be the official event organizing partner, including webcasting. The Center for Combating Tobacco is the tobacco observatory hosted in Sri Lanka with a mandate to monitor tobacco industry interference and implementation of the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, Article 5.3, in the South Asian region. WHO Article 5.3 WHO FCTC Article 5.3 requires parties to protect their public health policies from commercial and other vested interests of the tobacco industry. The aim of today's event is to advocate for better implementation of FCTC Article 5.3 in South Asia and facilitate a discussion on the way forward. Today, Dr. Thibault, Coordinator, Knowledge Management Reporting and Communication of the Convention Secretariat, WHO FCTC, Dr. Gunn, Director, Tobacco Control of the Union, and Dr. Mary, Head of Global Research and Advocacy, GGTC, are the distinguished speakers of the colloquium. Further, the regional report on FCTC Article 5.3 implementation states in South Asia will also be launched today. With this backdrop, I welcome the pillar of strength behind the SAC-CCT from its inception, the Union Technical Advisor for the CCT on the Bloomberg Initiative Grant. It is none other than Dr. Rana J. Singh. Dr. Rana is the Deputy Regional Director for Tobacco and NCD Control, the International Union Against Tuberculosis and Lung Disease, Southeast Asia Regional Office. I request Dr. Rana to welcome you all to the colloquium. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Garima. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Okay, thank you very much. So once again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all of you. First of all, thanks to Dr. Mahesh and team for organizing this regional colloquium and bringing us together. So really, it's a great effort. I am pleased to welcome and thank all the guests and colleagues from FCTC Secretariat, University of Bath, Global Center for Good Governance in Tobacco Control, WHO Country Office, National Alcohol and Tobacco Authority, Government of Sri Lanka, then Alcohol and Drug Information Center, EDUC. So welcome to all of you. Welcome Dr. Tabor, Dr. Mary Asunta, Dr. Gankwan, and all the dignitaries and participants who have made it to today's program. So thank you very much. You see, if we look at tobacco control globally, there are two areas where still there is limited capacity. And those two areas are, number one is tobacco taxes, and second is tobacco industry interference, how to monitor tobacco industry interference. What actually is tobacco industry interference? What actually is tobacco industry? So even in a big country like India, you see, where there are very few experts who know tobacco taxes, nitty-gritties of tobacco taxes. And when we don't know any subject, really it becomes very difficult for us that how to see that we are able to raise tobacco taxes. So that understanding still globally, I think it's very limited. Second part is tobacco industry interference, how to monitor that, and what is tobacco industry what all constitutes tobacco industry, what are their friend groups. Even we are not aware who among us can be a tobacco representative of tobacco industry. So these are two main areas where there is still a lot of efforts which we need to do. And about today's initiative. So what is this Regional Consortium Center for Combating Tobacco? Why this was established? So in fact, the purpose of this regional center was to build capacity to monitor tobacco industry behavior, tobacco industry interference in the region. So it was really an important thought that still we have very limited capacity, very few people who really understand this aspect. So how we can build capacity in the region. Secondly, actually how to train them to monitor tobacco industry interference and share their experiences. And third was to help member countries to draft FCTC Article 5.3 policy, and finally to support them in those all kind of efforts which may be required to enact and notify a country specific policy on FCTC Article 5.3. So this was the idea when this regional consortium in the SARC region was established. And I am very happy to note support from University of Bath, our colleagues from GGTC, from WHO country office. So definitely we really acknowledge the support which we got from them from time to time in all the meetings, all the webinars, all the physical meetings which were organized in the last 2 years. So really we got an excellent support from all the colleagues. Now amidst COVID, how much we have been able to achieve that? You see, any project, any 2 year projects already we are having about 1.5 year in COVID. So how much we have been able to achieve on all these three objectives, major objectives of building capacity, monitoring tobacco industry interference, and having FCTC Article 5.3 policies in some of the countries. We have 8 countries in SARC region. So how much we have been able to achieve that? So I think that is something which we will see. Despite that, you are all aware that during this period of COVID pandemic, we also saw huge tobacco industry interference in the country. In almost all the countries. In India also, we saw that in the name of CSR, how they promoted their name, how they continue to entice children and youth, and how they continue to promote their products. So this is something which we all saw, despite that smoking or tobacco use is a risk factor for tobacco COVID infection, as well as having more severe form of COVID disease if we are using tobacco products. So I think Dr. Mahesh and his team will share with us the progress on all those fronts. And this report, which is being shared today, will tell us the current tobacco industry players, who are all those who are working in this region, in each of these SARC countries. What is the status of tobacco control in countries of this region? What is the status of FCTC Article 5.3 policy and its implementation in our countries? So I also hope that in today's meeting, the experts who are here from FCTC Secretariat, from all other organizations, from GGTC, Dr. Maria Sunta, they will continue to guide us. Our work is not finished. It is, I think, very, very beginning of this initiative, building capacity for tobacco industry interference monitoring. So it's very, very initial work. And I hope that you will continue to further guide us on having a greater understanding of this issue, tobacco industry interference monitoring, and how we can overcome the challenges in implementation of FCTC Article 5.3 policy. So with these very brief comments, welcome once again to all of you, and I hope that we will have excellent discussion on this initiative, and we will continue to get your guidance. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Mahesh, and over to Dr. Garima.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for delivering the welcome address to our distinguished speakers and delegates who have joined us for the event.